Welcome to our three-part resilience workshop on how mindfulness, self-compassion, and positive psychology can increase resilience and contribute to our overall well-being. And today is the final piece of our three-part series, and our focus is on positive psychology today. I'm Catherine Krame. I'm a trained, qualified mindfulness-based stress reduction teacher and mindful self-compassion teacher, and I'm also certified in positive psychology. So before we dive into the workshop, I would like to invite you all to join me in a mindful moment, right? So just to kind of allow ourselves the opportunity to be here fully. So just taking a moment now to settle in and perhaps closing your eyes if that feels comfortable, and if not, just softening the gaze. And then taking a nice deep inhalation and exhalation, and inviting a sense of arrival. So perhaps feeling that you've arrived in the space that you're in, and sensing yourself sitting in the chair. So arriving in the chair, and then arriving in your own body and really feeling yourself sitting in the chair, feeling the support of the chair, perhaps tuning in to the feet as they're making contact with the floor, your sits bones as they're resting in the chair. Maybe tuning into wherever your hands are resting, on the thighs, in your lap, and just using these points of contact as a way of really arriving in your own body, arriving at your own door. And then as you're ready, bringing your awareness to the breath. So turning even more deeply inward. And just for the next breath or two, following the rhythm of your own breath cycle, not needing to change it in any way, but just following each breath, one breath at a time, one moment at a time. And then after the next breath, allowing your eyes to gently open and bringing your attention back to the screen in front of you. And maybe just taking a moment to notice how you are in this moment. And there's no right or wrong. Maybe you're a little more settled, maybe you're not. Maybe you've had a very busy day and it's a little more challenging to settle the mind, and that's okay. So I want to just give you a quick overview of today's workshop. So in the first workshop, we focused on mindfulness and how it really increases our awareness of what's happening. Excuse me, allowing us to recognize when we are facing a difficulty. And then in the second workshop, we explored the importance of offering ourselves self-compassion in moments of struggle rather than perhaps blaming ourselves. And now today we're going to take a look at our third pillar of resilience and talk about the important role that positive psychology can play in becoming more resilient. And so we'll just take a look at what positive psychology is, and focus on a couple of ways in which we can build upon our strengths and develop more tools to cultivate resilience. And so I'm going to share my screen again, and put up a slideshow. Just bearing with me for one moment. Okay, so what is positive psychology? It is the application of psychological research on human flourishing and optimal functioning to help humans lead an engaged, meaningful, and fulfilling life. So, traditionally, psychology has been reactive in nature and really focused on fixing what is wrong. And positive psychology, on the other hand, is focused on cultivating more of what is right, right? It's the science of life satisfaction and learned optimism, promoting well being and resilience. And this branch of psychology came about in the 90s. And Martin Seligman is really considered the father of positive psychology. And it's through the research, it has been shown that, where our attention goes, our energy flows. So if we're focused on the negative, or what's wrong, what we feel like we need to fix, then we kind of are in a place where we're going to get more of the same, right? So more of what's not working. Whereas if we focus our attention on the positive, on what is working, then we tend to get more of that, or it's a great foundation to build on. And on a scale, on a wellness scale, traditional psychology is focused on bringing people from the negative to baseline, right? But on that same scale of wellness, positive psychology is focused on moving from baseline to the positive, right? To increasing our wellness, and in turn becoming more resilient. And by taking a broader perspective of our lives to assess what works, we can really evaluate our strengths and what's going well in our lives and use those as the building blocks for change. So, one of the foundations of positive psychology is a framework known as PERMA, which consists of 5, we'll call them buckets of well being, in which we really need to have at least a drop in each of these buckets for greater well being and resilience. And 5 elements or buckets are positive emotions, engagement, relationships, meaning, and achievements. And we're going to spend just a couple of minutes on each one, talking about, how they are part of this, greater well-being, how they contribute to um, greater resilience. So positive emotions, that's kind of obvious, right? Positive emotions such as joy, happiness, contentment, they contribute to greater well-being, resilience, right? We kind of know that when we feel good, we have a greater sense of well-being. And we can promote positive emotions through a variety of ways. One very important way is gratitude, right? And research has shown that the importance of practicing gratitude, it increases our well-being. And the research also shows that we can't be in a state of gratitude and experience negative emotions at the same time. So gratitude is a really great one. Savoring is another way that we can promote positive emotions, right? And when we linger with something, even something very small that's positive, that creates a sense of gratitude as well and leads to, greater sense of well-being and more positive emotions. And then we have engagement. So engagement in life, whether in a meaningful activity or interaction with others, promotes well-being, right? Being engaged means being present, right? And that's where the mindfulness piece comes in. Being present and not missing even the small moments, because there's a tremendous sense of joy and even just peace that comes with acknowledging the sacredness of a moment. It doesn't have to be grand. And engagement in this way fosters positive emotions. And then next we have relationships, right? Relationships are the social connections that provide a sense of belonging, and positive relationships give us the support that we need to persevere. And perseverance has been shown to really build resilience, right? It's a really important part of building resilience. Those of us who persevere tend to be more resilient. And then we have meaning. So identifying what matters to us and finding our purpose provides meaning. And our purpose doesn't have to be grand, right? It can be a daily small p purpose, like cooking healthy meals for your family, or a simple act of kindness to a stranger, or a coworker. And again, it doesn't have to be grand, but this begins to build our sense of meaning and purpose in life. And the key to meaning is really having this sense that our purpose is connected to something greater than ourselves, right? So looking outside of ourselves, not being so self-centric. And often it means being in service to others, or it involves being in service to others. And then lastly, we have achievements, right? And these are the specific goals that give us that sense of purpose. But again, they don't have to be these huge monumental goals, right? We're talking about short-term goals, like your to-do list for the day. And then, of course, there are also the longer term goals, like maybe you really want to get an advanced degree. And so that is PERMA. And having just even a little drop in each of these 5 areas can really contribute to our overall sense of well-being. And then our next topic is an important element of positive psychology: character strengths, right? Character strengths are inherent positive traits and capacities that we have for thinking, feeling, and behaving a certain way. And they are qualities that can be developed and cultivated to benefit ourselves, but also those people around us, right? And they can really be used as a resource to guide us in daily life, and also, really importantly, in challenging situations, right? And so now I want to move into a reflection to explore our own unique gifts, our own unique strengths and gifts. And so taking a moment now to settle back in, and I invite you to close your eyes or soften the gaze, and then just taking a moment to reflect on your own unique strengths and gifts, right? What makes you uniquely you, right? What are your strengths? What are your gifts? You know, are you extremely caring? Maybe you're the first one to go and help a friend, or maybe you are creative, right? Maybe you take beautiful photographs and create albums, or maybe you're a strong leader at work, right? Leading your team at work. So just taking a moment to really reflect on and consider, what are your strengths? What is it about you that you really like, because it really enables you to persevere, or to um, be confident, be strong? What is it about your character strengths? What character strength in particular is something you know you can rely on and lean on And then, as you're ready, after you reflected on what you believe your strengths are, I'd like you to open your eyes and then take a look at this list that's up here on the screen, right? And just see if any of these speak to you. Maybe you have this appreciation of beauty and excellence, or maybe bravery is a strength, curiosity or fairness, forgiveness, gratitude, honesty. So just looking over this list and seeing if there's something here that resonates with you as really being something that you feel is a great strength of yours. And now, if you've identified in the reflection something came up for you or something on this list, just taking a moment now and perhaps closing your eyes again and reflecting on these questions. Do I use my character strengths in daily life? And do I draw upon my character strengths when I need them? Whether it's in a physical activity, a work task, in my personal life, a challenge, or a difficult moment. And if you recognize that you don't use your strengths regularly, well, that's okay. You can start right now, right? So just taking a moment to think of how you can start to use just one strength each day for this week. So just thinking about how can I start to use one of my strengths for my own benefit and for the benefit of those around me, right? And now that you've had a moment to reflect on what makes you uniquely you, what your strength is, and whether or not you use your strengths, we're now going to move into another reflection. And so we're going to end with this short meditation and reflection. And once again, adjusting your posture and keeping your eyes closed if they were closed, and if they were open, just softening the gaze or closing your eyes once again and just tuning in, settling into this body that's sitting here and feeling the support of the chair, of your own body, of the earth below. Turning your attention back to the breath, following the rhythm of your own breathing, one breath at a time, breath by breath, moment by moment, and just allowing the breath, your steady companion, to anchor you more fully into this moment, into your own body. And now, as you're ready, I'd like you to take a moment to think about a past difficulty that you have resolved. And so, a couple of things may arise, but just settling on one recent difficulty, nothing too terribly difficult on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe a 3 or a 4, and thinking about something that was a challenge, but that you have resolved. Maybe it was a work situation or discourse in an important relationship, or some kind of a stressful situation regarding time, making time on your calendar for yourself or in some other way to spend with an important person in your life. So just choosing this challenge and bringing to mind as many details as possible. What happened? What did you do in that situation? What did you say? And what was the outcome? And as you're reflecting on this situation, did you use any of the strengths that you identified earlier? And if so, which of these strengths did you draw upon? What allowed you to resolve this situation or get past it or get through it? And as you're reflecting on this, if it comes to light that you didn't use any of your strengths, that's okay. But taking a moment now, can you identify a strength that you could have drawn upon and that you can draw upon during times of adversity moving forward? So, which character strength or strengths did you identify as helpful to cultivate resilience? Which strengths that you identified can you use moving forward? And how can you use them in a moment of struggle or an adverse or challenging situation? And now, as you're ready, just releasing this practice, allowing it to be just as it was and allowing yourself to be just as you are in this moment. And then as you're ready, I invite you to open your eyes and bring your awareness back to the screen. And the invitation is to try to use one of your strengths every day for 1 week, and then try changing the strength each week. And do this for a month and see what happens.